Hi, hello, greeting from Indonesia. My name is Dini Turipanam Alamanda. I'm the co-author of this paper. And this paper titled The Impact of Taxpayers' Attitude Toward the Effectiveness of Land and Building Tax Implementation. And this article was presented on the 5th International Seminar on Entrepreneurship and Business, ICEB 2017 in Padang, Indonesia. So let's get started. As being popular, tax is still the main source to meet financing needs of urban and rural development in developing countries. This fact has made tax compliance rates serve as an important measure that can be used to predict the continuation of the ongoing development project. Hence, achieving full compliance rate has become a major concern of Indonesian government, especially to support the development of rural areas such as Cisewu village that is located in Garut Regency, Indonesia. However, in contrast to urban citizens, the attitude of the most taxpayers in rural areas are presumed to show lower compliance due to several factors, such as level of knowledge. The higher is the compliance level, the more successful is the taxation. The effort to improve compliance level has become major concern of the government of Cisewu village in Garut Regency to achieve tax revenue target that must be derived from land and building tax, or we call it pajak bumi dan bangunan. And the statistic of the achievement of compliance rate in Cisewu village that consists of 10 hamlets, or we call it rukun warga RW, are shown in the figure. So as can be observed from the figure, in 2014 and 2015 there were none of the hamlets that able to achieve 100% level of compliance. A significant improvement was shown in 2016, where there were only 3 RW or hamlets that managed to achieve 100% compliant level. Although significant improvement has been achieved in 2016, there are 7 out of 10 RW that are still unable to show full compliance toward Indonesian taxation regulation. So according to Village Secretary of Cisewu, several common causes of this phenomenon are taxpayers' lack of information, consent, and trust regarding the benefits of land and building tax. Another less common cause of this phenomenon is the temperamental behavior shown by the taxpayers that put tax officials in distress whenever they try to collect the tax. To support local government to continuously develop rural area, especially in Cisewu, this condition cannot be left alone. A set of programs must be formulated in response to the suboptimal compliance rate. So this research is to obtain knowledge regarding the effect of taxpayer attitude toward the effectiveness of land and building tax implementation in Cisewu village, Garut Regency. So here the list of literature review that we adopted. First, we started with the theory of planned behavior by Eisen and Fishbein 1991, and then we continue collected the theory of tax compliant behavior and taxpayers' attitude, as well as taxpayer awareness, tax moral, and tax evasion. And then we also stated about what is public participation in paying tax, and then how land and building taxation in Indonesia. And as well, we explain about the conceptual basis of effectiveness. And we were very happy because we found out some papers that have strong correlation with our paper. And those papers are listed here. First, from Salman and Farid 2007, and it resulting there is a positive impact between taxpayer attitude and moral toward tax collection rate in Surabaya, Indonesia. And Imania and Handayani 2008 state that the taxpayer knowledge is dramatically affect tax payment behavior in Pekalongan, Indonesia. The last, Budiartama and Jati 2016 state that there is a positive correlation between taxpayers' attitude, awareness, and knowledge toward tax collection rate in Denpasar, Indonesia. In order to expand this research that conducted by Salman and Farid, Imania and Handayani, as well as Budiartama and Jati, this research adopts simple linear regression or SLR to determine the effect of taxpayers' attitude as independent variable or X toward the effectiveness of land and building tax implementation as dependent variable or Y. The survey, conducted by using paper-based questionnaire as the instrument, involved the participation of 96 taxpayers in Cisewu village of Garut that are selected by using simple random sampling. To have measured this research question, this research employs hypothesis. First, HO, there is no impact of taxpayers' attitude toward the effectiveness of land and building tax implementation in Cisewu village. H1, there is an impact of taxpayer attitude toward the effectiveness of land and building tax implementation in Cisewu village. So let's move on to results and discussion section. Here the profile of respondent. From the response gathered, profile of respondents are dominated by 41 to 50 years old group of age with the percentage of 32.9%. This proportion of male respondent outnumbered female respondent by more than 2/4, which is 63.5%. The majority of respondents, about 67.71%, have education level that are equal to elementary school. Moreover, a significant proportion of the respondents are working as a farmer, about 34.4%. So let's continue. I would like to present about our descriptive analysis. Start from the attitude of taxpayer toward the implementation of land and building tax in Cisewu village. The average response toward the independent variable, which is taxpayer's attitude, is within good category with the value of 73.28%. This strongly indicates that the respondents averagely provide positive response toward the items, although in reality some problems regarding the attitude of taxpayers are still arise. One conspicuous problem is the awareness of taxpayers regarding the limits of land and building tax payment. And then about the effectiveness of land and building tax implementation. In general, the effectiveness of land and building tax implementation in Cisewu village is within good category with the average response of 75.82%. This is an indication that respondents averagely provide positive response toward the items of this variable or dependent variable. The regression equation that explains the relationship between taxpayer attitude toward the effectiveness of land and building tax implementation in Cisewu village is y is equal to 10.65 plus 0.79x. This equation can be interpreted that the magnitude of effectiveness of land and building tax implementation is 10.65 without any interference of other factors. However, when another factor put into effect, the increase of taxpayers' attitude by a single point will increase the effectiveness of land and building tax implementation by 0.79 point. The magnitude of impact of taxpayers' attitude toward the effectiveness of land and building tax implementation can be determined by using the coefficient of determination, or R-square. The value of R-square between the study is 71.96%. This value shows that the impact of taxpayer attitude toward the effectiveness of land and building tax implementation can be categorized as high. The value of R-square also indicates that there is 28.04% of the chance on the effectiveness of land and building tax implementation that are left unexplained by the model. In the attempt to improve the effectiveness of land and building tax implementation, this research managed to obtain several interesting findings that can provide meaningful contribution to craft responding programs to enhance tax compliance rate, especially in Cisewu village. Those findings are: the taxpayers' attitude in Cisewu village can be categorized as good with the average cumulative score of 73.28%. The effectiveness of land and building tax implementation in Cisewu village can be categorized as good with the average cumulative score of 75.82%. And based on the regression equation that is found in the study, by excluding the effect of other variables, the magnitude of the effectiveness of land and building tax implementation is 10.65 point. Moreover, a single point can change in taxpayer attitude will result in 0.79 change in the effectiveness of land and building tax implementation. Meanwhile, the value of R-square is 71.96% indicate that model possess good predictive power, even though there are 28.04% of the chance on the effectiveness of land and building tax implementation that may be explained by other variables that are beyond the scope of the research.